In the digital space where dreams ignite,
Are you a member of our Easy Way networking community? Get interviewed so our members can get to know you. Welcome to Meet Our Members Interviews. This interview platform ensures you to get spotlighted to thousands of our members. It will raise awareness for your business and your clients, to entrepreneurs, influencers, coaches, and more. If you want to be interviewed on our Meet Our Members podcast, subscribe to meetourEasywayMembers.com. Network with our 3,000 members and growing.
Easy Way shows you how.
Deb, welcome to Meet Our Members. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to be here with you. Last time I saw you, we were having some fun dancing at a pretty cool party, I have to say.
We're going to get into that in a minute, so I'll leave that as a teaser for people watching this right now.
All right.
And we're going to get into more about what you do in the media landscape, which is a ton of things. Before we get into the tips and tricks and the history, first of all, I'd like to know, why do you do what you do? Why media? Why is that important to you?
Well, as you know, and some people may or may not know, we're the largest international Women's Day speakership and authorship in the world. And the reason why I do what I do and my team does what my team does is really we help people do something that sometimes media doesn't do for people, and that's help create revenue. And so we do what we do because our mandate, our company's called Mission Accepted, is that our mission is to create sustainable media, which is very different, right? This is where we create a bit of a aura around the piece of media that you're choosing to do, so that you are seen not by just many, but you actually know how. Like Mark, you know that there's lots of things that we do because we're told to do. You watch the YouTube University, someone says get on a podcast, but then you're like, Deb, why am I been on 40 podcasts and no one's called me? Because you did the right activity, you just didn't do it in the way it was going to yield. So we focus really highly on the yield. And then we have to also produce and present considerable platforms. So we're more like, we call ourselves an accessible media company, because then we truly believe that as an entrepreneur is sustained, and entrepreneurship, honey, it's not always a sustainable journey, but if you are sustained and we can create that for you by media, then you have a way better chance of getting to where you want to get to quicker and with a lot of less stress.
That is such an awesome way to approach it. I love it. It sounds like there's a strategy there. Let's get into some strategies in a minute. What is your media story? How did you get into media?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been doing entrepreneurship for more years than I want to say, because then sometimes people go, wow, I didn't realize you were you were that old. But why I got into media is I spent a lot of years building companies. So I built 7 international companies, and I really truly have an understanding of what media can do, what the right place, what the right posture, what the right table. We talk about it all the time, Mark. Be at the right table, at the right place, with the right people. It's the same thing in media. Be at the right place, on the right stage, on the right magazine, on the right TV. If you nail that part, you're halfway there. And then it's the other piece. And so for me, getting into media, it's because I was coaching and training top performance to self-funding entrepreneurs for like 20 years before this came into fruition. And then the demand of needing to understand media, just expedited when we got into that place in the world when people had to come inside instead of outside. They had to really rely upon something that they really didn't understand. And that's where we really, I think, excelled in relationship to support. But I got into media, strangely enough, because I saw the whole. I saw people doing popcorning, and popcorning is, I'll speak here, I'll go into an interview here, I'll go onto a show here, I'll do a magazine, I'll go into my friend's podcast because my girlfriend said she had fun, those kind of things. And it was like, it was popcorn, but there was no rhyme or reason. And as a top performance trainer and coach. I'm like, that's not going to yield. You're going to get exhausted doing that. So, in creating the company, it was to serve in a way that someone would like, why would you do a business plan? Why would you do a marketing plan? Those are really easy answers, right? You're like, well, because you need to know where you're going. And no one knew where they were going with media. And I'm like, that's got to stop.
Well, you mentioned it a couple of times. Let's start at the beginning. When it comes to getting into the right place or being at the right table, how do you know what the right place or table is, and how do you get there?
Yeah. So, two things that I would say is recognizing where you're gapping and being honest with yourself about that. It's kind of like an inspector gadget. We can all take a look at our time, our energy, our results. We can look at the check that we're bringing in. It could be in the money part of it. It could be in the I'm exhausted, which means you might be making the money that you have, but it's taking everything that you have to make that money. And so, when you're looking at that, getting to sit at the right table, where do you feel like you're being fed? Where do you feel like you can breathe? Perfect example is yesterday, my son has a store, and we had these people coming in that were creatives. They were creating, they were entrepreneur, they were photographers, they were this. And after they left, it was like Ocean said to me, wow, that was amazing. What a great day we had. It was because we were sitting at the right table, talking to the right people that understand what we needed. We understand what they needed. I like to tell people to sit at a table where you feel like you've got room to stretch, right? Where there's people that you can feed and where people can feed you. Like, you need to be, like, they don't have to be at the same dinner table, right? One's
Mhm.
appetizer and one's dessert, right? But that's when you feel like you're getting solutions, when you're sitting at the right table and you feel that you're with your peers plus. And how do you get there? You stretch yourself. I don't even begin to misdirect in the world of entrepreneurship. I don't speak all the, oh my gosh, I don't speak all the end results. I speak about the journey to the results, or what I call the stretch to significance. You need to be prepared to get on planes you can't afford. You need to be prepared to be nervous when you're talking to people. You need to ask people to put you with the right person. You need to find someone, somewhere, some place that's going to stretch you to become what it is that you feel that you want to be, or something in your business you don't have that skill for.
Well, with everything you're doing, we're talking about the right people. So let's turn it on to you. For people watching right now, who are the right people for you, or what's the right table? Who are you looking to meet right now with everything you're doing?
The table that I'm looking at for my personal business, or people that if they're looking for someone like me, what's the table that I'm serving?
Let's start with, we'll do both. Let's start with your table that you're looking for. Who do you want to meet right now with everything you're doing?
Yeah, wow. So what I want to meet, who I want to meet is people that are inspired, that have been in the entrepreneurial world for a while, that when I have a conversation with them, I learn something that I didn't know that I need to learn. It's like I always say that leaders, or right now, and we've built a large community, right? 1,200 people, 1,200 women have come into our community in the last, 24 months. I was talking to another community builder today, and I said to her, I said, us community builders, we need to get together and meet every 3 weeks, because building community there's a different dance to that, and it would be really cool. So talking to other people that do other community and serve large amounts of people, I get a lot of inspiration and motivation from them, and we
Mhm.
laugh at the same things we would never tell anybody. Those kind of things. In terms of who we are, like when someone is to sit at the right, and it's interesting because I'm doing a big event in New York in 2027. You got to come because you're close by. And it's really about, backstage pass at the right table. And what I mean by that is people that are looking for what we have that's going to accent them, that they come to us. So it's anyone that's looking at, man, I've been in stages. Like, we're really, really good at turning someone who, you don't have to want to speak on a stage, but if you want to speak on a stage, if you want to be an interviewer, if you want to be a co-host, if you want to be an MC, if there's something that you do that requires you to speak, right? You want to be a podcast host, you want to be a TV host. I will just say, excellent. And I speak on behalf of the team at converting people from I don't know to a media personality, like really helping people brand themselves as a media personality instead of just a speaker, just an interview, and I don't say just because it's demeaning, I say just because pigeonholing. We also are really, really, really good at people that go, man, I'm spending so much time and so much money on my media, and I don't know if it's coming back. So we're really good with our media training to help someone say how to do. We're not going to get you on a platform without teaching you how you can turn that into dollars. And I think the biggest gift around that is the television. We do it as a revenue stream opportunity. And it's just blowing people's minds that that's where we are. And you know what? People want to be curated. They want to be able to show up and say, I don't have no clue what you're talking about. I don't even know what a media score is. And we're like, let's teach you. So whether you hang with us or you don't hang with us, or you hang with us for a short time, that you're actually going to start to make the best media decisions for your business, because that's hurtful when I see people that are out there for year after year going and doing media because that's what they're told to do, and they're not wrong. They're just not doing it that yields, and that's painful.
So when someone comes to you, let's do a little bit of a deeper dive. What does
Okay.
working with you look like? Someone signs up. What does it look like? What does an engagement entail?
Okay, so because we're an accessible media house, we have many different ways people can come in. So some people will come onto the podcast. Some people will do a 3-part mini series on that show. Some people are like, I want to get on stage. So we have 3 different ways they can get onto stages. Some people say, I want to be interviewed on TV. So we have a number of TV shows on our channel. People can be interviewed. Most of the time they're coming is for exposure. And then they get some training depending on what piece of exposure they choose. But some people come for business training. They're like, Deb, because I'm a top performance trainer, whether they're looking for a fractional chief marketing officer, whether they're looking for a business coach, they're looking for top performance. They realize that they need to flip up and they need to yield. And usually they talk about it in terms of time. So coaching, training, a media business plan. People are like, what do you mean? I don't even have a business plan. I'm like, I know 90% of entrepreneurs don't. Their business plan's their head, but we get it out on paper, what you want. And then we create a marketing plan. And then I was talking to Ocean today, based on the numbers that he wants to yield this year. I know that he needs to be on stage somewhere twice a week. Why do I know that? Because it's my job to know that. So I think what people really come to us for is the plan, the training, the support, the camaraderie, but you can come in any different way you want. But I would say the number one way people come through, Mark, and you've probably seen that with our work, is that women want to get on stage. Men want to get on stage. So we have these summits that are specific. We have 4 for International Women's Day, and this year we're launching 2 for co-ed, for authors, and for people that want to do workshops, because they know that we have a high visibility. We do a press release on one of our summits, and we're over 5 million media impressions in 24 hours. So people want to bounce off our media numbers. I would want to too, right? Like I would want to too. So it's hard to say what people come for. It depends what their need is, but there's usually an overlap. If you come onto our podcast, you probably want to come onto the stage. You might want your own TV show, but mostly they want to understand media and just yield, and they'll pick what's right for their business. And we are really good at just saying, I don't think you need to go do this, even if it's double the price, just go over here. And I think you need a little bit of this first. Cool.
And you've mentioned it a lot, getting on stage. Let's go into some tips and strategies here. When someone finds a stage and they get on it, what are your speaking tips? What do they definitely need to do once they find a stage?
Yeah, so once they make the decision to go on someone's stage, right? First of all, I want to, like, there's some people like, I would never pay to be on stage. And some people are like, all I do is pay to be on stage, right? I know people that pay $25,000 to $30,000 to get on stage, and women roll over and go, I would never pay $300 or $500 to pay stage. What I want you to know is when you get on stage, what you're looking for more than anything, and people are like, I know people to call and do my, call me and do my business. You're looking for media impressions. That stage, how much does that stage bring value? Does it bring you media badges? Does it bring you a new audience? Does it put you where you've never been before? Is it a different style of stage? Like, what is it? What is it? And I would say, where does it fit in your media plan? But because most people don't have one,
Mhm.
I would say, what's the content that you're going to speak? And here's the number one mistake that I believe speakers do, which is even when TEDx speakers come see us and they want to get on our stage, I'm like, okay, we need to do a media sheet before you go. They're like, no, here's my sizzle reel, here's my stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about, because I know what you want to talk about. What I want to get into a conversation with you is what our audience wants to hear. And if you address what our audience wants to hear instead of what you want to speak, you'll yield in a way you've never yielded before. And your marketing, when you go speak, look at, I pay big money to be on people's stages, and sometimes I don't pay anything. And sometimes I get paid. It just depends what is the extra bonus around that, right? And so when I look to speak anywhere, I start marketing 6 weeks before, right? I don't leave the responsibility, even when I pay. If I pay for marketing and they're like, you get this, and this, I'm like, cool. I take my stuff and I take ownership of the marketing. Why wouldn't I? Because I'm going to double my media impressions. I'm going to let my people know. Speakers are famous. Talk to any organizer, they'll tell you the biggest challenge, and I'm going to put it on the table. Hate me if you hate me. The biggest challenge is speakers say they're going to promote it and they don't, right? They don't to the yield that they yield. People are like, no one's ever called. And I'm like, how much marketing? Did you tell your people that you were going to be on a stage? Because if you didn't, those people that have been following you already, they just needed that one more third party endorsement. And that's what a stage is. Yes, you come onto our stage. Oh my gosh, there's 1,200 people in the community alone. I mean, you're going to be seen. That's not an issue. Do you need to pay for it? Of course you do. Media is not free. You don't work for free. I don't work for free. I mean, that's another thing, right? Oh, don't get me started on free podcasts, because I believe that there's a use for them. Absolutely. I have no concern about people not charging for podcasts. But if you are going to go on a podcast, do your job, man. Shut it out to the world. That person that you're not paying doesn't have a marketing budget for your show. So you got to
Oh,
take the ownership of that show and go rock your world with it. That's what you want. You want people to see, right? And what a great gift for the person that's sitting there for free, allowing you their media platform. And people hate me when they hear that, but I'm like, it's true. Like, it's really true. I take full ownership no matter what stage I go on, no matter what I do, no matter anything. And because of that, I double my yield of the impact of that piece of media. Yay! Guess what that means? You only have to do half of what you've been doing last year. Yay! Now you have more time to go do the sales. Yay! And now people are happy. I always say, people that come to our speaker, like our speaker training, they're like, okay, that's fine. I can't make it. I go, oh no, you're making it, because you're going to learn how to market your spot before you even get there. And then we have an after marketing meeting as well, because they do the nature of the entrepreneur. They do it, they close the door, they move on to their next thing, and we reel them back to the power of after marketing. So I've kind of gotten a bit on a soapbox. I can hear myself get
love it.
excited, Mark. Yeah.
So once people get on stage, how do you maintain longevity so you're not just, oh, I'm on a million podcasts and blah, 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 and doing all how do you maintain longevity as a media personality so you don't go up and then boom down to where you were, if not lower? What's the key to longevity as a media
Okay. Well,
personality?
this is going to sound really self-serving. Hire a media coach.
Mhm.
Know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like, if you're on a whole lot of media, do you know when that show is airing? Do you know what you're doing in your media plan at that point? Do you know what you speak? Like, all of those things matter. And so it's a continuum, right? It's a continuum. If you're on a media plan, you're not going to necessarily have high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. You're going to have more media impressions, play off the media impressions, more media impressions, play off the media impressions. You're going to make decisions that you know that this is a low impact for this area. Like, you have a strategy. No one should do any aspect of their business without having at least an understanding of why you're doing it. And most people don't understand the power of investing into a media plan. Like sometimes people will come to me for speak, Mark, and they're like, I'm going to speak and this is why, and da 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 da. And I'm like, can I make a suggestion? Purchase some coaching because can see you're popcorning. And now that you know what that means, and I can almost guarantee you're not yielding. I can almost guarantee they're not calling. And they're like, you're right. And I said, so I could take this much for the spot. Let's put that aside. Let's have a couple of hours of coaching so that when you speak on our stage and any other stage, because we're not the only stage in town. I mean, I help people get on stage, but that you are going to be able to yield from that based on having some coaching. So I would say the truth to that is like you would in any area. If you were running around to every gym in town trying to get buff for a competition, you'd be best to hire somebody that's going to walk you through that process so that you're not bouncing to every gym. You're just strong and steady and winning.
That is awesome. We have covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. Before we bring Ocean on, I would love to close with personal branding. A personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. What is it that you're hoping people say about you when you're not in the room?
That's a really great question. You're such a great interviewer, Mark. I mean, this is you're definitely in your golden space. She's the real thing. She's the real thing. She'll do what she says she's going to do.
Oh my God, that's so important.
Yeah.
And I got a couple things to show the audience while you and Ocean switch up. I'm going to show them now, and then we'll come back for Ocean's interview.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, my friend.
You too. I appreciate you, Deb.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Easy Way Interactive app is here. It's a community, it's networking, it's marketing. If you want to check it out, the best way to do it, check out this QR code. Take a minute, scan it. It'll take you right to the app. You can sign up. Like I said, start networking, start personal branding, start marketing. And on easywaynetwork.com, always check out the bi-monthly VIP pitch party. Easy Way gets a great crowd. You get breakout rooms. You get to meet new people. You get to share about yourself. You get to pitch sometimes. So definitely be sure to check those out. And we have Ocean coming to the table here. How are you doing, sir?
Good, you?
So far, so excellent. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. We'll just tilt it like this.
Well, you can tilt it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like this?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready to rock?
Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to talk about your business in a little bit, but I'd like to know, first of all, your story, why at such a young age, and actually at any age, starting a business is an endeavor, whether you're a teenager or you're 60. As far as getting started and starting your own business, why did you do it?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I really had a dream of having like my own streetwear brand, especially because I was really into sneakers and streetwear and going to those conventions, and it was always so inspiring. And I also always like loved like drawing, and I did a lot of like Japanese tattoo work when I was a kid, so I used to always do that as well. But it kind of hit me one day where I was like, oh, I would love to have this of my own. Like, I want to do this. And I was like a little kid, like going to these shows as well. But that's what really strayed. And then we started, I started working on some designs and stuff and asked mom to go to a shoe surgeon down in LA. And that was amazing because after like, a couple bunch of years, we eventually went down there, learned how to make shoes and came back here and learned how to make, I worked with independent designers as well. So they taught me how to make clothing from scratch. And from 12 to like 15 doing that process. And now I'm 22. So it's been a long journey of doing like all those steps to where I am today.
When you got started, think back to then. How did you mentally make the leap? Because entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart at any age. What did you do mentally to make the leap? Was it a support system around you? Did you just have the go-getter attitude that you just went out and made things happen? What was the mental leap for you and how did you do it?
Well, I'd say like we had support for sure. Doing like the next steps and mom telling me like, oh, this is what we have to do. this is the new step. Like this is like you gotta learn how to make the business plan, and then you're gonna have to learn how to make clothing. And so making like a plan, like writing down what we're gonna do next, is pretty helpful, and see what we can continue this. Like it's always one step at a time. I kind of look like every day. I kind of say like, okay, we have to do this today, and it's always one step forward. So that's what mom helped me with and helped me continue to keep going with.
Digging a little more now, what is the business? What's the best way to describe what you do, and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would say I would do custom streetwear. So it's almost like art streetwear, like wearable art, I'd say. Because I do a lot of custom pieces like artwork, and then I do a lot of custom pieces for like clothing as well. So it's like higher end custom streetwear line.
What's next for you now that you've got it going? What's in it? I'll say what's next, because there's a big picture here too that would take too long to get into. For 2026, what's on your plate?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, right now I'm working with another new collaboration as well. So we're gonna do like a whole new piece and everything. That would be really cool. And I really want to have like, a storefront, so maybe that on the list as well. And there's so much new stuff coming down, like things in LA we're gonna be part of, and New York, and the Oscars as well. So there's a lot of new stuff coming up in the 2026.
And your mom brought it up a couple times in our interview, the importance of a business plan. And it's probably something crazy. I guess what 80% of people, maybe 90, but 80% of business owners don't have a business plan. Could you speak from your experience, speak to the importance of having a business plan? Why should people do that?
Yeah, well, I didn't know before either, before doing this, like about like what a business plan entails. About like, writing down this huge whiteboard of like, Ocean 2026 kind of thing, like the shorts and then this step and this stuff. But it helps you keep on track of what you're gonna do, and then it helps you with the financials as well. Like what are we going to put this towards, and what can help us continue this dream that we have.
Mhm.
And so it's super important to have a business plan down. Like I learned when I was younger to really put down what we're going to do. So I'd say it's super important. Write down like what you want, I mean, future as well. Like what do you want to do in the future? But like as of right now, like what can we do to help each day?
Well, once you get the business plan done, let's say you've taken, 3 steps forward, the business plan is there, you know what you want to do. How do you keep on keeping on? What's the okay, the initial excitement is over. We've got the business plan, we've got some traction. What do you do to build on the initial traction and not get left in the dust?
Yeah, well, to not get left in the dust is really like I think it's super important to like kind of see the next step, right? Like to do you finish three on there. Okay, what's the next three? What's the next three after that? What's something or somebody who knows can help us continue going forward with it? That's what really that I personally did was, write down the three. Okay, I did those three. What's next? Right? Like, oh, okay, I gotta do TikTok or something today, right? Like, even those little small things help you. Even after the initial excitement of having a business, I don't know. We still do it to this day. It's still like I have like a whiteboard, and it's still new stuff. Like, so after like a couple years of doing what I'm doing, we still do the basics and write down what we're gonna do next.
And you've mentioned it a few times, and I believe in it wholeheartedly. I don't think any entrepreneur can survive without collaboration. Could you give example of one or two of your collaborations?
Yeah, well, the most recent one we're gonna do is I'm working with another artist. His name is Raven. So we're making a concept right now, and I have a couple ideas of what we're gonna do with that piece. But then I did shorts with another artist out in Toronto, and him and I both do like the Japanese tattooing style. So we did like a whole silhouette in the front of these shorts. Like I have this koi like going down, and then his connects, and then his is like crashing up on the front. So that's super cool. And then we've done like a whole bunch of other collabs, like socks. We did socks. That was really cool. And she does like like Rick and Morty. She works on like those animation shows like Doom, those games as well. And then, oh my gosh, we've done a lot of collaborations. I can't even keep up with it, but it's super important because then, it's like kind of two artists to showcase into one piece.
Mm.
Like book covers as well, I've done, so that's really cool.
Dig into that a little bit more. As far as advice for entrepreneurs that might be watching now, what are some ingredients or aspects of a good collaboration? How do you know what do you do to make a collaboration successful?
I mean, for me, a lot of people that I collaborate are kind of in the same field. I know a lot of people don't really like collaborating with people in the same field because they feel like it's a competition.
Mhm.
But I think it's pretty important, like, to have that, like, someone in the same field, like, like the artist out in Toronto, like him and I are in the same field. But I just think it's important to have two artists come together and make one amazing piece that both of us enjoy and
Mhm.
really like doing. But something to put together is always have like a meeting and like a concept idea, and then you kind of you for me at least, we usually draw, so it's a little bit easier. I kind of do my own thing, and then they go away, and then we come back in the next 2 weeks, and then okay, we got that done. All right, let's write down some things we could do with this. So that's kind of how I really do it. I'm
Well,
just speaking from personal.
you're on your way. You got good collaborations going. You've got traction. I'd love for you to share what's the big picture? What's the big idea? What's the ultimate goal for you? What does that picture look like?
I mean, I always say that I'm inspired by Virgil Abloh, and in his life, he designed from his own clothing brand to working with the collaborating with other people to and the end of his life like designing Rolls Royce. I think that's always been my big goal is to be like this designer where we could have free roam to do whatever we really like to do, which is super like freeing. And but some things at the moment is like working with tattoo shows. We're going to work with a couple of tattoo shops at the moment, and that's really amazing, and that helps me kind of have that freedom that we've always inspired to have.
And back to the business plan, because I'm guessing you've got one, or at least the start of one. As far
Mhm.
as getting to that big idea, what does that roadmap look like? Is it more collaborations? Is it more appearances? Is it more stages? Is it a combination? What does the roadmap to the big idea look like for you?
Well, it has all of those things really. Like I'm looking at it now, and it pretty much has everything you just said. Um, but yeah, like I mean, there is like more collaborations. There is going to new countries. Even there is even doing fashion shows. There's a lot more like the tattoo conventions. Podcasts. There's always so much like
Yeah.
to do.
With all of that, what are you if you had to pick one thing, maybe two, but let's say one thing that you're most looking forward to, what does that look like? Paint me a picture.
I think right now is definitely unlocking like the key, unlocking the door to the store. I think having that is like been my dream since I was young as well, like having my own storefront. So I would say that's it right now.
Talk about that road. What does a road to a storefront look like for other aspirational designers?
Well, I mean, it's always, it's like looking for an apartment as well, right? Like you gotta see where you want it to be, where can you fit, where can you kind of stand out a little bit, money, things like that. It's always looking about like all the options, right? Like we're in Vancouver here, so like would we go down Robson, which is like downtown prime time, right? Or would you rather do in Kits where it's more artsy and it's beach, right? There's a lot of options. It's just we take a look at all the options and put mark down which ones no 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 until you get one.
And you've mentioned standing out a couple times. I think that's important in media. It's important with even brick and mortar stores. Standing out is so important. What advice? How do you stand out, and what advice do you have for people to say, "God, I really do want to stand out from the crowd"?
Well, I think there's a couple. I mean, number one is quality. Like our shirts, they're not like cheap shirts. Like I choose specific fabric and I'm super super keen on that. And even people who've ordered from me or do live selling, and I'll send it to them, and they even come back like, "Wow, this is really good quality. I actually did not expect this." So that's something number one I'm very keen about. Something that makes us unique, I think, is like our design work. Like everything's hand drawn by me. Like for example, like this guy right here, like this Henya mask, and I have a whole thing on the back. And I think that's something that makes us pretty unique and stand out is quality and original designs and personal drawings of mine.
And you've got a leg up with your mom, of course. As far as standing out in the media, what advice do you have for people to stand out on media stages?
Well, I mean, mom's helped me a lot with media, so like I would say making some content every day or like doing some stories. Sometimes like it could be from some clips you do on live, or it could be like, I'm in the studio and I'm drawing on my iPad and like post that out. Just I guess consistency is pretty key. I try to do as much as I can, right? So that's this talk from today is all personal, something I've personally done.
And whether it's collaborations or different, I'll say different types of collaborations and people helping along the way, for people watching, who do you want to meet right now? What's a good connection for you?
Well, there's a lot of people I love to meet, but somebody who like would be awesome to meet would be like, like Drake or the Weeknd or one of those guys would be pretty crazy, or Snoop Dogg, exactly. Like, I grew up listening to Snoop Dogg, so that would be pretty sick. All those kind of guys would be really cool, and any of those connections would be amazing to kind of meet with.
And before we end, pretend it's December 31st, 2026. Pick one thing you're like, hell yeah, I did that. What is that one thing you want to say? Hell yeah, I did it. It's December 31st, New Year's. I rock 26. What is that for you?
I'd say definitely having like we open the storefront. I think that's really, really important to me. I think that'd be awesome to like be able to say that. Definitely that would be pretty cool. And I really want to get into tattooing, so doing my first tattoo pieces on actual people. It's funny enough, people tell me all the time, so can I book an appointment with you? And I'm like, oh, for like a design. Oh no, I want you to tattoo, but I'm like, I actually don't know how. So I think that would be pretty key as well.
And we have covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. A personal brand and having a successful one means that is what people say about you when you're not in the room. What is it that you most hope people say about you when you're not in the room?
Well, I hope they say nice things, but I hope they say, "Wow, this is some quality work." I think that's really important. And wow, like this feels amazing. Oh wow, like, I gotta go back there again. Or I have some super fans, which I'm happy to say, that come back and say, "Wow, like I gotta get this piece too." So I'm like, that's what I want.
And if people are watching right now and like, I want to learn more, we'll have you cover the base for your mom and yourself. Where are the best place or places to go online to find you two?
Well, right now we're doing YouTube is kind of how we started. So, Natsukashi Inc. On YouTube, and Natsukashi Inc. on TikTok, Instagram, natsukashiinc.world for our website, and that's kind of the best way to find us.
And just in case people are trying to scribble it down, will you spell that out for us? The ink name.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna look at my phones right now so I could perfectly get you the Instagram handle, because it is the underscore something else. So, Natsukashi Inc. as NATSUKASHII, and then Inc. as INK, and then on Instagram it's the underscore NII added.
This has been great. Ocean, I appreciate you. If your mom can hear me, Deb, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for making the time to be here.
Awesome, thank you.
And scene.
Oh, there.
Awesome. Hey, let me take a picture. I'll screenshot us. Here, you move over. We'll all get in here together.
Well, let me do one thing real quick.
Okay.
This is a reminder, if you didn't catch it in the midway, there's an interactive app for the Easy Way family, the Easy Way community. Like I said, networking, marketing, personal branding. It's an amazing place to be. You don't even have to go look it up. There's the QR code. I'm going to leave it up there for a second. Scan that. It'll take you right to the app. And on easywaynetwork.com, you can find out there's twice a month on Thursdays. Every other Thursday is a VIP pitch party. You can be part of it. There's breakout rooms. There's pitching. There's a lot of great stuff going on there. And again, I'd like to thank Deb and Ocean for being my guests on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
You're watching Easy Way TV, powered by EasyWayNetwork.com.